All right, guys, we are live for the CWA Showcase show ahead of CWA Showcase 5. I'm your host tonight, Nick Costco. Along with me is the commissioner himself, Derek Caldwell, and my broadcast partners for next weekend, the Shot Doc, Mario Mason, and, of course, Rutgers All-American, Jackson Turley. Gentlemen, good to talk to you guys. Looking forward to the card next week. We're going to have plenty of guests on that are going to be representing Showcase 5 on the main card next week in Toms River, New Jersey at the Barnabas Health Arena right on the campus of Toms River North High School. Derek, I'll start with you. I mean, this is already Showcase 5. You already mentioned before that there's going to be a big run of cards to end the calendar year before you get into the good stuff next year when we get to the actual team versus team. So Showcase 5, bring it home to Jersey. This is going to look really good next weekend.
Yeah, we're really excited about the main card that we put together for this one. Obviously, the headliner, Reese Humphrey and Sammy Alvarez, was huge to be able to have Sammy, who we thought was going to be a Hawkeye this year, but he's coming back home to open up his professional folk-style career here with us at Toms River. So we're super excited about that one. Quincy Monday and Jesse Delavecchia, another huge match in that event as well. But like you said, big time for us in the sense that we are back we're in New Jersey and we're leaving the state of Pennsylvania. We've done the first 4 within the Keystone State, and now we're headed to the East Coast and headed to your guys' stomping grounds in New Jersey.
Mario, it's going to be good to broadcast with you. Obviously, you've been heavily involved in the Jersey wrestling community for a long time, and finally getting you on the mic. And we already talked about this going into today, but we're going to bring a pretty heavy Jersey flair to this broadcast. And there's a lot of Jersey flair, whether they're representing Jersey or they're from Jersey on this card for next Saturday.
Yeah, no, there definitely is. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super pumped up to jump on with Turley as well. Had the pleasure of being around him the last couple of years in the Rutgers room. Nick, obviously talking with you a bunch actually this year about potentially doing something with Rutgers, and so finally getting on the mic with you and Derek. Obviously, it's been a long time coming. We're supposed to jump on a card not too long ago. Ended up getting to take a trip to Italy, but it was now we're here. We're back in Jersey, and it's about to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. The matchups are going to be good. I'm excited. I'm excited for Reese just because I want to see if he's still got it. With Sammy coming off of a pretty good year, and then obviously we got a bunch of other matches that are going to be fun.
Yeah, Reese Humphrey and Sammy Alvarez will highlight the main card. We'll talk about that. And, of course, we'll talk to both of them later this evening on the show. Jax, I'll come to you before we welcome in our first guest, which will be Brian Courtney in just a few moments. But, you were just talking before the show. This is now the next phase of your career, considering, the wrestling career is now in the books. You said get into the real world, but, you still can't stay away from wrestling for too long. So it's good to see you back for wrestling and going to test out the mic skills. You're going to be in between the benches this coming weekend, so it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to be a part of the team this weekend. Just any way I can stay connected and be a part of the sport. I'm really excited to represent New Jersey and just to be a part of this card and everything. So happy to be here.
Well, we're going to welcome in Brian Courtney first. He's our first guest. He's back on this Showcase card. He was on Showcase 4, so it'll be good to talk to him once again, and we'll kind of go around the horn. Brian, welcome in, man, and this is exciting to talk to you. Looking forward to seeing what you're going to bring to Showcase 5. Just first off, what's it been like getting ready for this card after your first experience with CWA?
Hey, sorry. Thanks for welcoming me, but I actually missed almost that whole question. Having some internet issues for a second.
So good. So I'll tee you back
back.
Because, this is a live show, so anything can happen. You got to be ready. Basically, you were already with CWA just the other month, in Pittsburgh. You're back on this card as well. So just take us through your first experience with CWA and how you've been gearing up to get ready for this match here coming up in Toms River next week.
Uh-oh. Is it me? All right. Is it me or is it Nick?
I'm not sure. So we're going to try. We'll try again. Everyone can hear me, correct?
Yes.
All right. We're all good. Brian, you're all good now?
Yeah,
I'm all good. I'm sorry about
All right,
that.
so it's all good. So third time's the charm. Just gearing up for Tom's River next week's CWA Showcase 5. You're on the card just last month as well. Just the transition and just preparing to get back with the CWA Showcase and your experience so far with the organization.
Oh, my experience has been awesome. It was such a fun event last month. First of all, getting back in wrestling for the first time in a couple of years. I stayed around it with coaching and stuff, but to actually compete, and then not knowing what to expect. Like, can I go for 9 minutes? Can I go for 9 minutes with a competitor like Anthony Noto? And so there's a lot of question marks in my head. And so I'm glad that I answered a lot of them for myself. And now I kind of had some things I wanted to work on, and just to kind of make me a little more prepared for this next 9 minutes.
Derek, I'll pass it off to you as we'll go around the horn here with Brian.
Yeah, so Brian, obviously making a transition, not just in terms of getting involved in a 9-minute folk style match, but after your first one with Noto here last month, you're dropping down a weight to 130 pounds. So talk about that, like what the preparation's been like. Obviously, last time it was more about just preparing for the endurance part, but now you have to drop a little bit of weight on top of that. So what's that been like for you, that transition?
Yeah, that's a great question too. So for 140, when I wrestled Noto, I was waking up below 140 most mornings, if not every morning. So, there's a little bit of a cutting weight component to 130, but with the 24-hour weigh-in, it's I got to get within 6 maybe, then do one workout on weight, rehydrate up, ready to go, put on a show. So the focus has still mostly been getting better. Been eating a little bit cleaner, maybe working out a little extra long just to get a few extra pounds off, but nothing too crazy. I'm within striking distance after every practice.
Mario, over to you.
Hey, what's going on, Brian? How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing well. Happy to jump on here with you today. But I'm actually curious about the 9-minute matches too. I've watched some of the showcase matches, but mostly in clip form. I haven't seen everything go down. So I'm just as excited to see how you compete there and then some of the other guys. But how did you feel, one, coming back to wrestling for the first time, and then, secondary, competing in a 9-minute match, which I'm sure you've wrestled with the college guys in longer goes, but there's nothing like really wrestling a match in a singlet with a ref, when it goes a distance and something like that.
Yeah. You can ask Derek or, anyone who was there, or Anthony. I wrestled 9 minutes, but I felt like I could go 9 more. It's, my conditioning has never really been an issue. And, like you said, we practice a long go, in practice or in college. And I think that people get tired during those when you got a singlet and a ref, because it's kind of a mental thing. People kind of get nervous. And when they get nervous, I get excited. And so I'm able to go, we train hard. Everyone trains hard. That's the part that sucks. And so it's really fun to go out there and put on a show and to wrestle in these matches. So I feel like it's almost like a relief. It's kind of freeing to go out there and wrestle for 9 minutes versus like, oh, I got to go wrestle for 9 minutes. It's like, I get to go wrestle for 9 minutes and have fun doing it.
Jackson, I'll toss it over to you. Oh, he's muted.
I got it right here. Brian, good to talk to you. Yo, I watched you last weekend, or last showcase, and throughout the 9-minute match, it seemed like you started to pick up your pace a little bit more. You got a lot more comfortable once you started to get tired, and once Noto started to get tired too. And I saw you, you started cutting, you started flowing a little bit more, and that 8th and 9th minute, you started to show out a little bit. Is there anything that you're doing, or maybe it was just like first match jitters or something like that, but is there anything that you're doing coming back into another showcase to be able to try to shoot more shots, start trying to pop off a little bit earlier, to be able to get into your flow a little bit earlier to be able to win that match?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a great question. I've always kind of been a slow starter. And maybe this time too, I really wasn't sure that I could go 9 minutes. Nobody's ever sure that they can do it until they do it, because it is different. You can't simulate it, right? So probably part of me was a little bit nervous, and also I just had a lot of respect for Anthony. You know, he's got great reshots, and so when he's fresh, you know, you start taking shots right off the whistle, he's probably going to get a pretty easy takedown. So part of it was maybe some respect for Anthony. Part of it was a little bit of nerves, and another part was I didn't know if I could do it. So I do definitely plan to go out there, shoot more frequently at the beginning, you know, kind of flow a little more, like you said, feel a little more. I mean, we're out there to put on a show, and I want to win. Giuseppe wants to win. We all want to win. But for like, I was done wrestling, so this is like a gift to be able to do it again. So I just kind of want to leave it all out there, you know, for the full 9 minutes, not just the last 4.
Right, for sure. But it was definitely entertaining. I'm excited to watch you again.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Jackson.
Brian, a couple more for you, and appreciate your time this evening. You know, you just mentioned that you were done wrestling, and all of a sudden, like it's like a gift to get back to wrestling, and it's folk style too. So natural transition. Have you turned back the clock in terms of some of your training or study habits? Obviously, you know, you mentioned you're wrestling Giuseppe Ray, who we'll talk to in a little bit, but you know that's your opponent for this upcoming card. Have you done tape study on him? Is there stuff that you look for his tendencies, or how do you go about preparing for just a singular match like this?
Yeah, I've watched him before. I don't want to get too caught in the weeds on things that he's good at or not good at or whatever it is, because I want to wrestle my match. But he's a super talented competitor. You know, he's quick, he's fast, he's strong. He's obviously a hard worker. Heard great things about him. So, you know, I've got nothing but respect for him. But just kind of more focused on what I can do to win the match. More focused on, you know, like Jackson was saying, getting to my stuff earlier, and hopefully, you know what, 9 minutes is a really long time. It's a really, really long time. And so if I can kind of impose my will on him for 9 minutes, then, you know, I have full faith that no one can hang with me for 9 minutes if I'm doing that. But again, I really think very highly of Giuseppe. So I'm really excited to put it on the line.
It's going to be a good one on the main card. Do we have anything else here for Brian as he's going to kickstart our main card in Tom's River next week?
Nope, I'm excited to see that funk again.
Me too.
A lot of funk at 130 pounds. Brian Courtney against Giuseppe Ray. That'll kick off the main card for CWA Showcase 5. Brian, good luck next weekend. We're looking forward to watching you in Tom's River, and you know, welcome back to CWA. Thank
you so much. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Brian Courtney with us here on CWA on our Showcase show, previewing CWA Showcase 5. I got to say, him cutting to 130 pounds is very interesting. I figured, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but, you know, if you're doing something that's going to be for a pro league, I can't believe cutting weight is even in these guys' vocabulary. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think the cut is interesting for him. He told me when we were there, he's like, 30 isn't an issue. And I said, okay, man. So you know, for me in bringing guys in too, like I want to make sure that they're fresh and that they're at a weight where they feel like they can go the whole time. I think, like he said, 9 minutes is a long match. So you want to make sure that you're good to go. And for him, he feels as though he can do that. So he dropped down. He's going to join the Central PA Whitetails. So now he went from foe to friend with Noto. But so they'll be teammates now on the Central PA.
It is super interesting with the weight cut. I mean, given the time, the turnaround time, you know, even 10 pounds, though, if you're doing it over a couple weeks and you take out the water at the end, I mean, that shouldn't be too much of a detriment, just with like the 24-hour turnaround. But again, on the other side of it, as a pro league too, you want to put yourself in the best position to win as well. You know, I'm sure these guys want to get out here and win, and not just consider just like showcase, like to show off skills. And you know, that you want to win. You're going out every time to win. At least that's the way I look at it as a competitor. So
yeah, I mean, he looked great at 140, to be honest with you. He definitely was able to go the full 9 minutes at that weight class, and his plan that he shared with us seemed pretty good. And I mean, we all seemed very confident in it when we heard it. So I think I'm excited to see him down at 130.
Yeah, I think he ended his college career at 141 at UVA, and that was, you know, granted that's 3 years ago when he finished up. I mean, he was going back and forth between 33 and 41. So I think the weight cut doesn't seem to be an issue, but obviously, as you guys know, you know, at the collegiate level, those last 3 pounds, especially if he was going down to 33 4 or 5 years ago, getting even lower to 30, where he has to make weight at 29.6. Bit of a big jump, but I mean, for someone like that out of college, I mean, are these guys changing their training habits or kind of just doing what worked, even 3 years ago?
Right. I mean, I would assume that they're doing something a little bit different at this point, right? Just because the college season, it's week after week after week after week, so you have to have a little bit of a different training plan when it comes to that. So I feel like for these types of events, these guys are going to start creating these 3, 4, 5 week long camps for them to start to prepare.
We're going to welcome in Scott Joel next. He's our next guest here on the CWA Showcase show as we look ahead to CWA Showcase 5. And Scott, who wrestled for West Virginia and, of course, UNC Pembroke to finish off his collegiate career. He's already wrestled in CWA as well, so we have another CWA veteran on our hands. Scott, welcome to the program.
What's up? How you doing?
Good, my man. So you are going to be on this main card against CJ Brookie, going up at 195 pounds next weekend in Toms River. They'll just start you out. You're again. We already asked this to Brian Courtney, but since you've already wrestled with this organization, what's your experience been like? And obviously, you're right back here for the next card. So clearly, you're ready to get back right into action with really no time off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to stay on the mat and set a good example for my kids. Still doing all the coaching things. So, that's what I want to do long term. So I'm doing that, and then competing is just a bonus because it helps me stay sharp, and it just helps me like get individuals in with kids. Like, hey, you need to get on. Like, kind of takes that little bit of lazy voice in the back of your head out of it. But yeah.
Derek, I'll go over to you.
Yeah, so this is your third consecutive CWA event. You were in Philly, had a great match against Chad Walsh, and then you picked up your first CWA victory here a couple of weeks ago in Pittsburgh. So kind of being on both sides of the coin, I guess, what was different about this last one that you were able to pull out a win as opposed to the first one back in Philly in March?
It was definitely nice to be familiar with it. I mean, I knew I could do it, and even with the last one, I didn't really get that much training in before, but I just went like a 9-minute match in practice the day before, and I was like, "Yep, like I can do this." I've done it before. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to it. A little while ago, I just started telling myself, like, wrestling match isn't that long in the grand scheme of your day. So I've done tougher things. So, why not just go out there and focus on scrapping for 9 minutes?
Pivot over to you, Mario.
I definitely can't wrestle hard for 9 whole minutes anymore, but it's one of those things that when you're in shape and you're especially coaching, still training with college guys, all that stuff, you're doing the same things and you've been doing it your whole life. So it's just getting out there on the mat and just kind of seeing what you can do and score even more points potentially. But I feel you on the coaching and coming back and doing individuals with your kids too. I actually stopped wrestling right out of college. And then when I came back to it, I was already coaching a bunch of like high school youth guys. And that was a humbling experience because they would watch my matches and be telling me, "Hey, coach, like you tell us not to do these things. Like what's happening, But I'm getting tired and like things are happening in matches, and it's just like, but it's such a humbling experience. I'm sure you feel the same way about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially wrestling how I wrestle, I try to like spam the basics at practice, and once you get those down, you maybe can branch out a little bit, but
no, for sure.
Jackson.
Yeah, man. Yo, Scott, good to see you again.
Hey, you too, bro.
Dude, you're staying active at an older age, and it's honestly it's inspiring a little bit. I bet it's definitely inspiring to your kids too, just to be able to set the good examples, to be able to keep yourself sharp while you're coaching too. Not really much of like a question, but just really excited to see you get out there for another time with all the experience that you have wrestling the 9 minutes. And dude, your style is fireworks, man. I love the way you wrestle, and you know that too. So it's just, I'm excited to see you there again.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I could definitely say the same thing for you. You know, I'll be on Instagram and I see you hitting lat drops out of cow catchers and stuff. You know, so that's always entertaining. But yeah, just excited to get out there. Probably move my feet a little more and stop giving up first period takedowns, and I think that could take me to the next level.
Yeah, getting that first takedown is definitely big.
Scott, I was curious because you wrestled for West Virginia for a handful of years. You finished off your career over at UNC Pembroke, where you are an assistant coach now. Was it very important to you to stay in a familiar spot like that, you know, to transition to your coaching career and to, I guess, stay active with the athletes and the coaches there to keep your competitive career going? Like, did you look anywhere else to continue that next phase of your wrestling career, or was it UNC Pembroke was like, yeah, this is the place I really want to be for the next phase as well?
I mean, yeah, it was like the last year, the transition into coaching is I was doing my MBA, so I just finished up my second year of that and my schooling, and it was a nice way to really transition into coaching and kind of have that security of the relationships I'd built over the last year and I guess reputation. And then as far as for moving forward, I've got, you know, nothing but good things to say about, you know, either one of those programs really. And as for Pembroke, that just happened to be the place where I got my first coaching opportunity. Our head coach, Othello Johnson, he's been at the school for 18 years. He has been the head coach for 14 years, and you know, he's got kids in school there. He doesn't plan on going anywhere. He's just a student of the sport, and you know, we all get to coach together, and it's nice to kind of have I don't want to say a say in those decisions, but I can bring up an idea, and then me and our other assistant coach, Bryce Walker, who also wrestled there, and OT, we can all have a discussion about it and give our honest opinion on it. I mean, I think it's been great for me to learn in that aspect, just little things, running a practice, recruiting. You know, I could go on for days, fundraising, just all the stuff you learn as a coach. It's been nice to learn that from somebody I respect and, you know, have a lot of love for. And as for moving on in the future, I mean, I'm going to be loyal to that program unless I find a program that, you know, is essentially, you know, a promotion for me somewhere where I can coach and, you know, train at a higher level, something like that. I try to think of it as a business mindset, and you know, I got a lot of love for all those kids, and I want to help them out any way I can. But just in any profession, if you're not trying to move up, you're gonna get your feet stuck in the mud. So, I mean, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll leave you here with this one. Again, we appreciate your time tonight. You're taking on CJ Brucky next weekend in Tom's River for CWA Showcase 5. You done any tape study on him? I mean, obviously, he, you know, like yourself, he's a high flyer. He's going to be really in your face. And I would imagine, you know, as Jackson already alluded to, your style brings a lot of fireworks, and so does he. So I would imagine you think this match is probably going to be pretty explosive, probably from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I definitely I noticed a little bit that he's pretty good on top. You can look at the guy and take a blind guess that he's pretty strong. But you know, and I know it's going to be Jersey in there, so he's going to have the crowd behind him. So yeah, it's going to be a great environment, and I'm just looking forward to it. And yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to watching you. Any last remarks for Scott before we move on here, fellas?
Let's go Braves.
I like it. Scott Joel with us here on the CWA Showcase 5 preview show. Scott, good luck next weekend. We're looking forward to watching you. And again, good luck the rest of the way as we lead up to next week.
Thank you. I'll see you all soon.
All right, Scott Joel going to be taking on CJ Brucky. And Jax, I think you summed it up. You know, Scott's got a high-flying style, and CJ is going to be in his face. So I would say that's just great matchmaking on everyone's part here for CWA.
Yeah, I agree 100%. What a match. I'm excited to see this. Somebody's getting pinned. I'm just saying it. That's my bet for the weekend. Somebody's getting pinned in that match.
Mario, if you had to set an over/under on the time, if there is going to be a pin, are we 9-minute match? Are we setting it at maybe like 3:35? Is that a good line right there?
I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of the matchups. So has Scott gone the distance in matches?
Every time.
He has gone the distance in his last two. However, Scott was the NCAA pin leader in 2023, I think, 2022. One of the years he was in college. He led the NCAA in pins. And
interesting.
I'm gonna be honest with you. He put me to my back a couple times too. I mean, I'm excited to see him wrestle.
Well,
That's
if he
cool.
puts if he puts our guy Jackson Turley to his back, I think we got to watch out. So it's gonna be a high flyer next Saturday. So our next guest is ready. Giuseppe Ray, will bring him on now, and he'll be taking on. As we look down the card, we already talked to him. Brian Courtney, that'll lead off our main card next weekend. Giuseppe, good to talk to you, man. Welcome to the preview show. Just first thoughts on this match is obviously competing for CWA, and I guess the excitement level to put on for the New Jersey crowd next week.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Appreciate you guys having me on this card and on this show tonight. Yeah, I'm pumped. It's a lot of people are saying it's a 9-minute match, but to me, I look at it as like a 10-minute live go. So I'll just add one more minute of wrestling. But I'm pumped. I'm pumped to showcase my wrestling skills and and see what happens.
Throw it over to Derek.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize just because you do a ton of wrestling, it's just because you wrestle for Ecuador, a lot of people here domestically don't get to see you compete. And so that's like, I know we've talked for a while about trying to get you situated here with the CWA. So obviously this is awesome for me to be able to have you come in and wrestle a guy like Brian Courtney. I think it's the perfect first match in your entrance into this league. But ultimately, I guess because you've been focused so much on freestyle in the Lehigh Valley RTC, what have you changed in the past few weeks? Obviously, leading up, and you have Worlds kind of coming up here soon. But what have you changed just in your preparation here over the last few weeks going into this, beyond like not locking your hands on the guys on the bottom?
Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing I'm gonna miss. This next weekend is just locking my hands. Just because I love parterre, I love guts and laces, but preparing wise, I've probably just been putting a little more time, on the live, like longer than 6 minutes. So maybe like a 10-minute go that we do, and I still have like my background in riding and and folk style wrestling, just because I'm still a coach at the college level. So it's always in the back of my mind. So it's I still know my tilts and stuff like that. So I'm sure I'll remember it right away.
Awesome.
Yeah, Mario.
Giuseppe, what's going on, man? Been a little while.
Yeah, what's going on, Mario? It's been
It seems you're doing well. I'm excited to see you wrestle folk style. I've never seen you wrestle any folk style at all. I've gotten to we didn't train really with each other too much, but obviously in the room, or not against each other, but with each other in that room at Lehigh.
Right.
So I'm just excited to see what your folk style looks like. Really, just game planning wise, if I'm you, I'm still thinking a takedown game, just because you haven't been doing a ton of that, at least like for you, for maybe for development for college guys, but not so much for you to get better in some of those areas on top and bottom. But what about bottom? That's something that's a little bit different,
Yeah.
If you get caught there, how is that looking? Again, never seen you do any folk style wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, on bottom, I haven't really been focusing much. Like, I guess, I know I can get out. Like that's the bottom line. I know I can get out. As long as I'm sealing any any grips or holds, I'm pretty confident get to my feet and get out. And that's my game plan. I'm not trying to spend so much time on the mat. If either if I'm on top or on bottom, I want to put points on the board. Whether it's takedowns or scrambles or whatever. So that's kind of my main thing. Make the fans kind of get more engaged. Especially with CWA. Make this an exciting match.
Pivot over to you, Jackson.
Yeah, Giuseppe, nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man.
Yo, I haven't watched you wrestle any folk style either. When I was doing my research for the show, I was looking you up, and everything I saw was all freestyle. And I know you're good in parterre, and I know you got all these takedowns in your repertoire. But I'm excited to see you on the mat. When you're hitting that 8th, 9th minute, and you're used to those 6-minute matches, how are you? You just acting like it's just an extra period, basically?
Yeah. Yeah, basically, it's weird. Like whenever, whether if I'm wrestling in Ecuador, or training in Ecuador, we do a lot of long live goes. Especially my coaches in Ecuador are Cubans, so you go there, practices are sometimes like 2 hours. So a lot of drilling, tumbling in the beginning, and then we kind of scrap for like 30 minutes of live. So I'm kind of used to that. So I don't think it'd be like something new. So I think my conditioning is great. So, but if I can end the match before the 9 minutes, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's what we're always looking for. It's a nice fall.
Yeah.
Giuseppe, because you've wrestled so much freestyle, but you are a coach too at the college level, have you been able to, it's kind of weird. I mean, again, as a coach, you're the one trying to instruct your wrestlers and, teach them new things or maybe fine tune their games. Have you found it to be that as well as the opposite? Because again, they have more folk style experience, so to speak, than you do at this current juncture. Have you learned from your wrestlers that you're coaching as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always like picking whether it's my athletes or coaches or really anybody that I come across. If I like something they do, I'm like, hey, yo, how'd you do that? I'm always willing to learn. So that's one thing I love with the coaching, because you got to keep evolving, whether it's folk style, freestyle, Greco. If you're not evolving, you're either kind of staying the same or getting left behind. So yeah, I do take a lot of things from some of my guys. Like everyone does some stuff differently, so I'll definitely kind of use that to my advantage, just learning from what my guys do or from what I've seen, and see if I can apply it to my wrestling.
I like to hear that. Anything else here for Giuseppe, who's going to be taking on Brian Courtney? And again, Brian was very complimentary of you going into this match. Have you been able to study him as well, or is it just like, clash of styles and we'll just see where this goes?
Yeah, I kind of want to just clash, see, feel him for the first minute or so, and then, I'll decide what happens after that.
I like that. Anything else here for Giuseppe before we let him go and obviously let him get ready for over the next 8 days?
Nope.
Giuseppe, we want to thank you for coming on to the show tonight. Obviously, we're looking forward to you.
Obviously, a lot of people
talking to you next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait.
All right, Giuseppe, we appreciate it. Thank you very much, Derek. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I think, of course, in the year of 2025, technology obviously still is
my connection. Oh, yeah, no, it's my connection for sure because it came in a million words a minute, catching up to you and your sentence that you had rolling. So it wasn't you, it was me for sure.
That's all good. But interesting though, is we spent a lot of time talking about his freestyle accolades and his experience there, lack of folk style. It is pretty intriguing that we're all going to see now him do a different style all of a sudden. And I mean, do you guys think there's going to be a big adjustment period for this one, or is it just like, what, he could take a guy down multiple times and we'll just see what happens there?
I mean,
I I think things change in a long match, though. Like that's where top and bottom changes things drastically. And I'm a neutral guy. Like I always have been. I mean, I do a lot of stuff, but it's just that's where we're gonna see. I think the match turn.
Right. Yeah. Especially as you alluded to on bottom. I mean, if you're training with college guys a lot, you're most likely finding a ride or two that you're helping them learn how to get out on bottom instead of you really grinding on top. But you have a ride or two, going into a match. I'm excited to see how bottom works out for them in the folk style.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to Giuseppe needing to get a big lead early. Because what Brian, he just gets stronger as the match goes on. Minutes 7, 8, and 9 are his wheelhouse essentially, and so we'll see. I just think it's going to take Giuseppe getting a big lead, and then and Brian is known to give up the first takedown, so I think that'll be an interesting dynamic too.
Be a fun little game of roulette essentially. So we're going to tee up. We have two guests coming on simultaneously right here. I have no idea what this meant before, Derek, when you texted it to me, or we saw, all the pre-show preamble, the no genre block, but it's Reese Humphrey and CJ Brucky. I need to be informed of what this is. I think I'm missing an inside joke, but I think I'll be let in on it. So.
There's no inside joke about it. This is like so CJ Brucky in Philadelphia, he came out to his own music because they wrote it, and their band name or their group name is No Genre. Because they sing all types of music. So
yeah,
Reese no genre. Yeah, exactly. So that's why we just teed it up as the no genre block, because they wanted to be intertwined in some capacity, and I think it's perfect with them both being on the New Jersey Mob that just let the no genre block happen. So
well, they are both backstage right now, so let's get them both on. You can't have one without the other right now, so we'll welcome on. There's so there's Reese, there's CJ.
Oh, hey yo, what's up, guys?
I mean, we're looking at a New Jersey card right here. I think the show just I think the state has broken off into its own country right now with the amount of guys we have from Jersey on this show right now. Reese,
Jersey strong.
Good to talk to you boys. Obviously, you guys have represented the NJRTC quite well in recent years. You guys are on the card, and CJ, I'll start with you because I brought up the no genre thing. And are you planning on walking out to your own music once again on Saturday?
Is there any other way to walk out, boys? I mean, we got to represent over here. All right. No genre, but all the vibes. That's what it is. We got to do it.
Reese, do you have your own song too, or are you going to do the same song as CJ?
Yep. I'm old, but we're just getting started. You know what it is.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right, so I'll talk a little wrestling, of course, then we'll go around the horn right here. Reese, I'll start with you on this because you're coming back to competition for this one. You've been great as a coach. Obviously, you've made your mark on that with all the senior level athletes as well. But coming back, what was the decision like for you to say, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. I want to showcase my skills that, essentially, you kind of alluded to it, that you still got it. So what was the mindset for you taking this match against a young and hungry guy like Sammy Alvarez, coming off a decorated college career in his own right?
Yeah, we can't let these kids have all the fun. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like I've been on the mats 5 days a week for the last 50 years. You know what I mean? And so, it's like I just want to put it to the test one time. It's nice to have a date on the calendar. It's nice to get healthy a little bit, go to bed on time. I don't do that. I don't know why I said that, but it'd be nice if I did. But that was the thought process beforehand. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just been it's a cool experience though, to toe the line, and you always got to respect the man in the arena. And so it's just I learned a lot about coaching when I put myself in that perspective, and so it just makes me a better human, makes me a better coach, makes me a better person. So I'm excited for the opportunity, and I'm going to put on a show. I promise you that.
We can't wait for that. CJ, I'll pivot to you real quick. I believe was that your brother right next to you? Is that what we're looking at right there? Well, I mean, now we got both of them right there. CJ, I'll ask you this because obviously you're arguably one of the biggest showmen that this promotion has seen over the first 4 showcase cards. What you bring to the table right here. But I mean, you're coming in this one. We just talked to Scott before. He's a high flyer like yourself. So just your excitement level for this upcoming match here next week, obviously to put on for Jersey.
put on for Jersey is right. I think that's the theme. This event, this showcase is about representing the state that loves wrestling as much as it is, and it's all about having fun. I mean, if you're not doing it at this point in our careers, Reese is gritting his teeth. He's trying to get back at it, but it is really about having fun, And I think that this is a card that allows that to happen. So everybody that's representing whatever state they're from is really in it to show that wrestling is a fun event beyond college. It's something that can be an entertainment avenue beyond just the college and freestyle level. And I think that you guys are allowing that platform. So why not take advantage of it?
Derek, I'll pivot over to you.
Yeah, I mean, you're right on with that, CJ. It's obviously about you guys being able to showcase your abilities, but also to let it fly. And I think that, you showed that in the first card that you were in back in Philadelphia, obviously.
Well,
a guy who ended up being a world teamer, but the thing is you still went out there and tried to put it on him, hitting ducks and trying to just set him up. And, it is what it is in terms of the final score of that one. But still, you definitely went out there and competed to the best of your ability against, he's a world teamer now at this point. We didn't know that.
Yeah, it's hard to score points against the brick shit house. And I'll stand on that. And, you can throw as many oohs and ah kind of moves at him. But when a guy that good is towing the line against you, you can only do so much. But that just speaks to the caliber of guys you have wrestling in these types of events. So class act. I mean, I said it walking off that mat. I'm like, this guy is really going for a gold medal, and that's a fact. And he proved it a couple weeks later at Final X. He's really putting a statement on that weight. And, I'm excited for my second shot at putting butts in seats for you boys.
Yeah, so for you in that, though, so this is a guy, I mean, I don't know if you watched him, and obviously he threw Chad Walsh in that same showcase that you were in, but have you watched anything else on him just in preparation? Because you guys both kind of have a style that's gonna put some points on the board on the field.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's a big move guy. I mean, there's highlights everywhere. Scott Joel's putting people on their back. That's a fact. And yeah, I mean, I'm ready for that. I got to stay solid. I got to, a lot of the things Reese was preaching back when I was still competing is win the hand fight. And that's my game plan. But I also want to do cool shit, boys. I want to put out, I want to try some cool wrestling moves against a guy that also does cool wrestling moves. And you never know what happens when lightning strikes lightning. So we'll see what happens.
I love it. Mario, I'll toss over to you.
What's going on, guys? Reese, Brecky, what's up? Reese,
yo, shout out the Shock Dog. Shout out Action Jackson.
Shout out Shock Dog. Okay.
Come on. Shout out Costco, Biden, Bulk. Let's go DC, the commish. I mean, this is an all-star lineup we got right here. Let's go with some love to you boys real quick.
Appreciate it. It's going to be fun. Are you guys jumping on the broadcast after your matches with us? I mean, it seems like you might have to.
I'm down.
I'm down. I mean, come on. Give me a mic.
Reese, for you, obviously, longer match. No, I don't think that's a problem. You still train all the time. Sammy, in general, at least from what I know of him and been around him a little bit, he's a slick guy. Pretty smart also, just like as like a savvy wrestler. But I'd say the same thing about you. You were slick, you were savvy, you had big movability, freestyle wise, extremely savvy, folk style wise. I thought you were extremely dangerous, just coming up around the same time. What do you expect out of the match? Like just in general, do you expect a lot of points, or you expect it to be almost like a gamer match where it's kind of picking and choosing action?
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not going 9 minutes. I'll tell you that right now. I'm telling you that. Either I'm getting pinned or he's getting pinned. It's gonna be fireworks. I promise you that. So we're gonna come out swinging. But this is why I took the match. You said you were slick, you were explosive, you were good at folk style, freestyle, whatever. I'm going to prove that I still got it, and I am slick. I'm not as fast. I'm not as explosive, but I'm a better wrestler. I'm more experienced. I'm ready for all the strategy that he could ever bring at me. I've seen it for the last 35 years. I'm 39 years old right now, and I want to prove that guys can wrestle into their 40s and can still be competitive if they work really hard and they pay attention to the sport. You can constantly get better. And so I'm just excited to show everybody that I still got it. Everybody that knows, that's in the Princeton room and the NJRTC room, they know. They've been waiting for this. And so I'm excited to show everybody, and it's not going 9.
Jackson?
I love it. Dude, I'm excited. Before you even got on, I was like, that's the match that's the guy I'm excited to watch. Brucky, obviously, I'm excited to watch you wrestle. I got to call a bunch of your matches with the Takedown Sports a while back. And
Who approved this
The
graphic?
flow, the flow versus the fro. Yo, Reese.
Straight Val Venus. Val
Reese,
Venus
don't
right there,
tell
right?
us that you're too old to be modeling and wrestling at the same time. You can only handle so much, you know?
Hey,
What
brother.
it is.
Hey, calm down, GQ. Why don't we stick to wrestling, my dog?
I approve this message.
Brucky,
Who
but
approved
I got
that?
to watch
I thought this was a match.
and call a bunch of your matches. And my favorite match actually was against Foca in that card over in Pennsylvania. And yeah, man, I'm just excited to see you scrap again. Just lay it on the line, wrestle as hard as you can, throw in something big, and I'm excited for it to see it. I don't have a question for you, but just
TJ, what's the story
ready to
about that
rock,
Poker
man.
match?
All right, so I'm glad you bring it
The
up.
fro
too,
and the flow.
Yeah, flow versus fro on the head with that one. I mean, that's coined by you for sure, and I think, you know, it goes without saying. I'm excited to see you back on the mic because I think you did a great job with those events. And I honestly, like, throwing the kitchen sink has kind of been my MO, but I was down like 14-1 in that match. And I had hit the same shot like a bunch of different times, and like I'm like, nothing's working against this guy. These Cornell guys can actually scramble, and he's a young cat. And like, you know, I was also worried about later in the match, like how much more is he gonna have in the tank. But I came to the corner at the break, and I look at Reese. He's like, "You're gonna pin him," and for whatever reason, I believed him, and I just went out there and hit the same shot.
I didn't believe it.
Got into the cradle, and
I just
it
said
happened.
that
So I'll tell you what, special
Cradle
things
him
happen,
up.
especially when you got the no genre block in one place. Like, good things are gonna happen, man. I'm excited for this card.
Jackson, I'll throw it to you because if there's another guy on this show that knows about high flying moves and high flying maneuvers, it's definitely you. So I'll tee it up for you.
Yeah, Brooke. Yo, I've put hands on both you and Scott before, and I'm excited to see what the hell's about to happen in this 9 minutes. Right? We know. I put my bet on the line that says somebody's getting pinned. I don't know who's getting pinned. Somebody's getting pinned in that match.
The no 9-minute crew.
No
Right?
9-minute crew.
Now,
Hey,
now
no
back
genre,
to
no 9.
Oh, facts, yo, and then back to Reese. You saying that you're gonna pin Sammy? Ooh, let me see it, man. I want to see
No,
it.
I said somebody's getting pinned. Let's
Yo,
get
you
it
said
straight.
somebody's
storyline.
getting pinned. All right. Well, we all know how. Right, we're all wrestle heads here. We know how Sammy wrestles. How are you going to? How I word this? How are you going to prepare yourself for the long lankiness of Sammy Alvarez and the funky style of a guy like that? Right.
Yeah.
You know you got rolls coming. You know you got something. You know you got a pick coming. Right. So
Yep.
what are you doing to be able to match that length?
I don't want to tell you. He's probably listening. But you know, I've seen every style. I've seen every single bit of wrestling that can be thrown at me. Sammy's got an interesting style where he's really funky, but I got a plan for him, and that's between me and my coaching staff, CJ over here.
I like it. I like it. Secrets in the no genre block.
He does. He brings a lot of problems to the table, and so I'm just excited to try and wear him down. And 9 minutes is a long time to be on the mat with me. So we'll see what happens.
I like it.
Yeah, Reese, I like the proven mentality and, like, you know, trying to say, like, yeah, we still got it. It's a young man's game, but like it's not always a young man's game. I believe are you two still running the old man wrestling club? I forget. Forgive me if I'm butchering the name, but you guys still running that those club practices?
Yep, the OGWC. The OG Wrestling Club, the old guy, old gal wrestling club, but also the OG. Yep, we're still running that. Not as consistent as we were before, but we keep going just to make the content and just to make sure if somebody wants to really run with the idea, we have all the experience and we have the data to prove that it will work. Jiu-jitsu's been crushing this model from 25 years old to 55 years old, and wrestling, there's just not anywhere to be able to run a practice. So if you're want to compete after high school, or if you're fortunate enough to make it to the D1, D2, D3 level, after that, there's no options. You really can't wrestle. And so you either have to go to MMA or you have to switch to jiu-jitsu. And so we wanted to provide that opportunity for people. And we have the model for it. We basically just go out of jiu-jitsu gyms. So there's really no overhead, and it's very possible to learn how to do that. And just hit me up if you guys want to, or hit us up if you guys want to learn how to do that and start running your own wrestling classes, because I think it should be a thing that's nationwide and a lot of people would really enjoy.
Is that rewarding for the two of you in a different sense, where it's like sometimes you throw out an OG wrestling club and it's like, yeah, a guy might walk in like, yeah, I wrestled in high school, didn't wrestle past high school. I was a very average guy, but I still want to wrestle. Do you take pride in that too? It's like, yeah, we're gonna have fun and teach you guys some really cool stuff now moving forward.
Yeah,
exactly. There's the sport. You want this one, Reese?
No, you got it.
Well, the sport, like you have.
I want to say something.
You have an old man's basketball league. You have all of these avenues for people to stay involved in sports that they love. I mean, where's that for wrestling? Jiu-jitsu kind of takes over in that sense because there's nowhere else to get on the mat. And so that's kind of the gap we're trying to fill. And yes, bringing fun to wrestling and kind of changing that stigma is an objective, kind of we'll make it a life's passion to make wrestling more accessible and more welcoming to the rest of the population. I mean, there's a lot of tough people in this sport, but it should be welcoming to everybody, I think.
Yeah, and so when CJ says change the stigma, everybody thinks of wrestling when you tie the shoes up, you lace them up, you got to go 100%. But wrestling is just a martial art just as much as jiu-jitsu or anything else. You can slow things down. You can focus on the technique, and you can do it into your 40s at least. I'm living proof. It's possible. But yeah, no, these guys are really fun to teach. They're humble. They're ask really good questions. They want to help the people around them. I really think it's a great idea, and we might not be the businessmen to take it over and really run with it, but somebody out there will, and we'd be more than happy to help them.
Reese, I got one more for you, then I'll pitch it back around to wrap it up here. I was curious because you mentioned how, again, what you're doing over the NJRTC, being a coach and helping out those athletes, but also working hand in hand with Princeton as well. You alluded to before, it's like, yeah, those guys in the room, like the guys that are currently wrestling at the D1 level, like they know. So I would imagine, has this been brewing for you for a while, where like you were looking for the right opportunity to come back and and obviously showcase your competition ability, even as you said, pushing 40.
Yep. So, I mean, when I was 33 to 36 was probably like my actual prime, to be honest with you. But I was a coach first always. And so, like, every time the U.S. Open would come around, I'd get people asking me, like, are you going to compete? Are you going to do this? And I'm like, I can't. I have to be a coach. And I would have really enjoyed doing that and stepped on the mat and put it to the line. But being a coach is my job. It's my number one priority by far. This is something that is outside of that. Like Quincy's wrestling on the card as well. But it's almost helping us that we're training together to get ready for it. And it's an opportunity that's pretty rare. I haven't really been able to find two opposite cards where I'm not coaching at, and I'm really just be there to have a chance to compete. And so I'm doing it, and it's a really good time to set it up.
I'll pitch it around. I'll open the floor for anybody if you have anything else for CJ and Reese before we let them go and obviously get prepared for this big card next Saturday.
Yeah, just a comment. I mean, what y'all two are doing for the sport of wrestling with the OG Wrestling Club and pushing that we can do the sport past college, right? It's super huge. And I really think that a lot of people should start getting on that wave and being able to say, hey, we can have fun and wrestle and scrap, or just, treat it as a martial art, just like any other. And what y'all two are doing for the sport is just absolutely amazing. Super impactful.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I appreciate you, man.
That's awesome.
100%.
That's love. I mean, I'll leave you with this. I mean, I'd rather live than say I never did. And we're doing that every day. I'll open up the floor. You got old Bruck here. Got any questions for the kid and any Stanford wrestling questions you might have? We'll open that floor up.
Are we? Oh, I think my only question is: are we getting old Bruck on a card at some point? Are we get him out of retirement?
Yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it.
But I'll never say never.
Never say never. All right, that's not a no. That's not a no. We're gonna
all right, you and your mustache call me later. All right.
We'll do.
Let's go, boys.
Hey, I got the match for you. Old Bruck versus the guy that just beat Young Bruck. Pat Brucky versus Trent Headley. After the Worlds, set it up.
Whoa. Bangers.
I like that. I like that a lot. Reese Humphrey, CJ Brucky with us. No genre block. Obviously very successful. Looking forward to watching you boys next Saturday in Tom's River, putting on for Jersey. And I would say you two are definitely going to put on one heck of a show for the Jersey crowd over in Tom's River.
Big
Thanks,
love.
man. Thanks for having us on. We're outta here.
Appreciate y'all. See y'all soon.
Take care.
Appreciate
See you
those
guys.
guys. I think we found Derek. I don't know when we're gonna go to the UFC model of doing like match of the night, performance of the night, performances. I think those guys have it locked up. I think for every card they're on, it seems like.
So Philly, we actually did that. So it's a funny story. We did that for Philly, and Max Murin won it with his assassin. But the problem was with it was the setup is that we were like, okay, go to the merchandise stand and vote for the match of the night when it was all said and done. And you would think when you would do that, like, you know, everyone goes, they get their vote in, whatnot. You think like, and so then my wife who runs the merchandise stand was like, listen, we got to do something different here because there's people marking like multiples for someone. And I was like, what, like these little kids running up? She's like, no, it's not the kids. The kids listen. The adults are up there trying to mark like 4 and 5 times for the same match over and over. And I'm like, well, we got to figure a different format before we bring that back. So, yeah, we did it in Philly. And then, so, yeah, that's on the table to get reintroduced. But the voting has to get fixed on that end of it before we bring it back. Because we got some heathens out there just putting 12 votes on one match, you know?
There's probably an app or something you could use, though. There's probably like some kind of
polling
app you could use.
Right. We were trying to mesh it with like where you could get it from people watching on the stream and then also people that were in the arena itself. But you're right. Definitely got to be maybe we just got to put the shot doc in charge of that. You know what I mean?
You need a QR code. If you have a QR code in the arena that people can just hit, and then obviously on the screen for anybody watching.
Look, you already figured it out for us. Perfect.
Beautiful.
I got you.
All right, baby.
Businessman shot dog. All right, our next guest is ready. Jesse Della Vecchia will welcome him into the program as he will take on Quincy Monday, who was just alluded to by Reese in our last segment. So they're on the main card. Jesse, good to talk to you, man. Welcome to the show. And I can only imagine the excitement is through the roof for you to put on a show in New Jersey in Tom's River next Saturday night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, it's been a little while since I competed. And, you know, Quincy's a guy that, you know, we wrestled twice in college. And I beat him the first time. He beat me the second time. So, you know, I want to get this grudge match and then, you know, kind of go from there. But, yeah, I'm excited.
I'm not going to say he was the one opponent you wanted to come back for, but when you were pondering coming back to competition, what were those thoughts like? What was your process like saying, you know, I want it to be the right weight, right situation? What was that like for you before you said, yes, I'm definitely taking this match over here for CWA?
Yeah, honestly, I was pretty open to wrestling anyone. You know, we trained pretty hard this summer at Hofstra, and you know, when Derek gave me the call, I was already in pretty good shape. So just kind of had a month and a half where, you know, I you know, locked in a little more, picked up some better habits, and you know, started going on more runs and taking it a little bit more serious. But my starting point was good, so it wasn't, you know, a crazy transition into, you know, this training cycle. So yeah, I was ready to wrestle anyone. Then I found out it was Quincy, I mean, I think it's a great matchup. Kind of, I think it makes it, I like Quincy a lot, but it would be fun, someone who would like to hand fight a little more and you know, stay in the center. I think he's going to thumb block and try and keep me away. So I'm going to have to go out there and try and chase him and keep my hands on him. But I think if I can, get my hands on him safely and pull on his head and create action, it's going to be a fun match.
Derek, I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we chatted a little bit before we got the match set, and just you were obviously going through getting prepared for the U.S. Open and then competing out there. So obviously, like you're in a Division I college room, training and coaching these guys. So I mean, like for you doing the 9 minutes, what's your training regimen look like? Did you have a lot of guys just kind of doing the shark bait thing on you? Like, what's that been looking like for you, kind of to extend the matches?
Yeah, so right now, I mean, right after this, I got 2 guys coming from Hofstra. I'm gonna get 2 9-minute matches in. I want to do it, you know, around this time because this is when I'm going to be competing. So definitely taking it serious and been going on a lot more runs, and yeah, so I definitely tailored it more towards a longer match, and trying to build some more muscle endurance and stuff like that. But really not too much has changed in my training besides just adding some extra workouts and maybe going a little longer.
Mario.
Jesse, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I've been hearing a lot about you from a mutual friend over at the Roonies, and I was actually out at the U.S. Open. I was coaching Jace, and it was just watching you compete. Obviously, I saw you wrestle in college and stuff, and you're tough. You wrestle really hard, and that's something in that 9-minute match where I know Quincy's been wrestling freestyle, and where I think that you were the best was on top, and that's just a position that, you got to get to. And as a longer match progresses, I think that kind of stuff starts to become in your favor. I just wanted to see kind of your thoughts on it, and, being able to get to that crab, and rolling some people back, obviously in some really big matches in the NCAA tournament. Just kind of excited to see some of that.
Yeah, so it's funny because I talked to some of my Hofstra guys about this, and my game plan, and I'll just say it, is like I don't really plan on riding too much on top. I might attempt to turn, or maybe maybe when I get in there it might change a little bit, but my mindset right now is maybe I'm just a little stubborn or whatever it is, but I feel like I'm better than him on my feet. I think I was a lot better on my feet than people thought when I was wrestling in college. So I want to go out there and kind of showcase my skills, and show how good I am on my feet. And like I said, I might attempt to turn or something, but if not, I'm looking to score a lot of points. So I might just cut them. So that's kind of my game plan, is just going forward, getting my hands on them and scoring a lot of points, and kind of see what happens, create action. I'm like freestyle. I think where, it probably hurt me more a little bit is, I'm definitely a big scrambler, and I like to roll to my back. And I had to learn how to, adjust and actually sprawl the right way and use my hips, and which I didn't really sprawl too much in college. So that was a little bit of a tougher transition for me. But yeah, I think my scrambling and my hand fighting is what's gonna, help me win this match.
Throw it over to Jackson.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, a lot's already been said. I personally believe you're one of the best folk stylers on this card, especially when it comes into top and bottom. So it was super surprising for me to hear you be like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna cut him." Just knowing that you have one of the nastiest crab rides that I've ever seen. So I'm just, like you said, once you get in there, things might be a little bit different. But how do you think that the constant contact is going to be playing into your favor when it comes to this match?
You said a constant
The
contact.
constant contact, right? Because in the CWA, you have to have the constant contact, and you can't really play the edge. If I'm not wrong, right? Those are the rules.
The center circle, yeah.
Yeah, the center circle, right? So how do you think that
Other
center circle rule is going to really play into your favor in this match?
Yeah, I mean, Quincy likes space, and likes to thumb block and throw a lot of fakes from the outside. So that's definitely going to help me close the gap, and yeah, close the distance safely and get my hands on him. So I definitely think that favors me too. So yeah, I love the 9-minute match. I love this rule set, and yeah, I think it definitely favors me. And so yeah, I'm excited.
Jesse, I was curious about your career in general. You ended obviously with a great run at the NCAA tournament 4 years ago already. Since then, obviously, this is your first competition back, I believe so, off the top of my head, and you're into coaching now. Did you ever envision yourself returning to competition like this, or did you figure, you know what, I'll keep training, but I want to focus my energy on coaching? Like, did you envision something like this happening, even 4 years down the line since your college career ended?
So I did that one of the cards at Stalemates against Kennedy Monday, right? I think a year and a half after graduating in college. So I wrestled Quincy's brother, and then did the U.S. Open about whatever 3 or 4 months ago. That kind of left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. So I definitely wanted to at least get a few more, competitions in.
Mm.
But no, honestly, no. Like obviously I'm dedicated to coaching. Like I love it. It's my dream job, and I'm all in on it. But I felt like, especially with this time, I didn't really take away from my guys at all, and I think it actually helped them. Being in the room more, just kind of seeing them getting to see me, how I prepare for competition, the mindset I get into, and pushing them in training more. So I think at first I was a little bit hesitant to like kind of get into competition, but I think I switched my mindset a little bit, and after talking to the coaching staff and stuff, they're like, I think it only helps them. So that made a lot of sense to me, and I was like, why not? I'm young. I'm 28 years old. I feel great. I'm healthy. A lot of guys coming out of college, they're beat up and maybe drained mentally, and I just love the sport so much, and my body feels great, like I said. So I'm like, why not compete? So
Love hearing that. So Jesse Delavecchia with us here on the CWA Showcase show, taking on Quincy Monday on our main card for CWA 5, and next week in Toms River at 170 pounds. Jesse, we appreciate your time, my man. We are looking forward to watching you. And as Jack's already alluded to, if you're getting on top, I think we can expect some very creative rides and turns.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Probably not, but who knows?
We appreciate it, Jesse. Thank you very much, my man.
Yeah. See you guys.
That's funny, Jax. I went back. I had to look real quick because I know you've seen him up close. I was curious if who he wrestled in the Rutgers lineup, and I found a little tidbit. You have to go back to 2016 when he was at Binghamton for a little fun fact for the Jersey fans out there. He actually wrestled Anthony Ashnall in a Rutgers Binghamton duel when he was a freshman back in 2016. Obviously, no, that was a win for Ant. I believe that might have been Jesse's first collegiate match, if the order is correct, which is welcome to Division I wrestling.
Yeah, that's a crazy first match to come into D1 wrestling. I'll tell you that. Oh my! I mean, I was excited to hear that he was going to go ahead and do something on top, but to hear him say that he's going to cut him and go at him on his feet, I'm excited to see that.
I like that, Mario. I can only imagine you're probably just thrilled that he's just saying, you know what? Let's keep the action in the center here.
Let's throw it down. I mean, I'm good with that too. But to be honest, man, just like Turley here, I mean, he's so good on top. You almost want to see that, especially because it's a clash with Monday though. Like,
yeah.
So you get excited for the clashes. But what I do know about Jesse, and what I have learned again through a mutual friend, is he's stubborn and he just expects that he's going to beat you in your positions. And that's exactly what he said. And I just was hoping. Well, I still think we're going to get some top though. Things are going to change. It's going to get a little tough, and he's going to be like, I need to sit on this ride just a little bit. I need to hang out a little bit. Might be able to sneak a couple.
Hey, those riding time points count each and every period if you can get at least a minute. So that's the beauty of CWA. So our final guest is ready for our preview pod for next week's CWA Showcase 5. Let's bring him in now. It's Sammy Alvarez. The Bull himself is going to be back here in New Jersey, and he'll be taking on Reese Humphrey, as we have already talked to him already in this show. I believe we're queuing him up right now, but just before he actually gets queued up, guys, Sammy, he ended his college career very nicely. Actually got to wrestle at the NCAA tournament finally, got on the podium for Ryder, so he definitely ended the right way. And but we were alluding to it before. Sammy is very funky. He's one of the more craftier wrestlers we've seen over the last 5-6 years, and I would imagine he's going to be a fit for a lot of people. And actually, he's up now, right there. There is Sammy Alvarez, the
This
Bull.
dude's in the sauna. Come on, man.
He's
Are
already.
you in the Russian sauna with the hat?
Got the hat, got a little beer, having a good time.
Absolutely. Sammy, my man, good to see you. I believe this is actually our first conversation since the NCAA tournament back in March out in Philadelphia. So you're coming off an All-American season to end your college career. You're back on the competition scene now, coming back to Jersey, wrestling Reese next week on our main card. Just first, the excitement level for you to get to showcase your skills at least another time here.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I mean, at the end of the day, we're just having fun, right? We're not doing it for a paycheck. We're just having fun. Just more for like the passion of the sport, right? I just got done 2-3 months ago, if that. I didn't really think I would compete, but the opportunity came along, and I'm not supposed to beat Reese on paper, so I was like, "Fuck it, why not? Let's let's see what we got."
Love it, Derek. I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, obviously this came to be a little bit of a different way. You reached out to us initially when you were still just trying to figure out what the league actually allowed and didn't allow in terms of college athletes and the whole, your intent of being in Iowa and the plan for the Hawkeyes to bring you in, and then as all that the dust settled as it did, us being able to reach back out to you and then get you lined up with this match. I guess what kind of went through your process, as that roller coaster of a summer happened, right? Like, so it's been about a month since that all settled in the way it did. But I guess what was your summer like in that regard?
Well, at first I had the thought that I'd be wrestling next year, right? But things just didn't work out, and I kind of just took a chance, right? It was a big leap of faith. I kind of knew, like, deep down, it wasn't a guarantee, but in the new world of NIL and things like that, I had another year, or at least I thought, right? Depending on who you talk to, some people thought that I might get granted, I might not. So I pretty much just took a leap of faith and, gave it a shot. It didn't work out, unfortunately, but, I'll be all right. I'm pretty content with my career. I've been in college. I actually came in the same class with Turley in 2019, which feels like a decade ago, pre-COVID, which is pretty crazy to say, but
different world.
we've been in college 6-7 years. It's more than enough time. We've graduated, and personally, I'm content. I wish I could have had a better career. I've only wrestled at the national tournament one time, but I can't really trip what's over or what's behind me, really. So just moving forward, just hanging out, getting a job, those type of things, just transitioning into the real world. And, hanging out this weekend. I'm in Seattle right now. I'm actually sitting in the sauna, heating it up at an Airbnb, having a beer. Just went for a 6-mile run this morning with my girlfriend on the cocktails, go to country concert tomorrow. And then, back on a plane Monday. And then I got, like 4 or 5 days or something till I wrestle. So, just been, keeping it light, having a good time, just enjoying life. Not having a head coach or athletic department hovering over is pretty nice, I will say. But it's it's been a good time. Just been living this summer, honestly. No preseason in the mind, which is nice. I'm sure Charlie can agree. It's nice. It's nice knowing that you don't got to report to a room. You could go if you want. So it's a different vibe.
Who you seeing?
Go ahead, Derek.
Country concert. Who's your country concert?
Sam Barber.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Be a good time.
He's living life. Mario, I'll throw it over to you.
Sammy, what's going on, man? It's been a while.
How we doing? What do you got
doing
for
good,
me?
man. What do I got for you? I got to wrestle with you at Rutgers probably a handful of times. Got to roll around. Got to feel how creative you are and how you can flow and change things up and almost even like mimic styles and so I had a lot of fun coming in scrapping some of those mornings. But I've also wrestled with Reese and really interested to see, I guess, both of you wrestling each other. I don't think it'll be super high scoring. I think it'll end up being more of a cat and mouse game. But Reese got on here and said either you're going to pin him or he's going to pin you. So I just wanted to know what you thought about this matchup.
Yeah, well, first that statement's completely out of control because I don't wrestle like that at all, and he's out of his mind if he thinks he's pinning me. That's number one. Number two, the cat and mouse. That's definitely me, right? I kind of wrestle in slow motion a little bit a lot of the times.
Yeah.
I like to slow matches down. I'm not really as fast as people think, to be honest with you, with my reattacks and stuff like that, and my picks where I make my money on my feet, but. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case. If he wants to try to throw me, he could go ahead. We'll see what happens. I don't think that's going to happen. I'll be honest with you. I'm probably just going to methodically march forward, stay in good position, apply pressure, and move forward. Look for my attacks. If I get scored on, try to score the next point. At the end of the day, I don't see a world where he beats me. But like you said, dude, Reese is legit. He's 3-time national or 2-time All-American, 3-time World Team member. 38 years old, has been coaching since Nam. So he's been around the block. He's got a super high wrestling IQ, and I'm not supposed to beat him. Like I said earlier, I know I'm not supposed to beat him on paper, which makes it fun, right? That's the whole point. A lot of people are gonna come out and be like, "There's no way it's gonna be close," right? So my job is to prove people wrong, which I'm a big fan of doing, especially on a wrestling mat, right? There's going to be a lot of people that want to see me get my ass whooped, which is great, and there's going to be probably lesser people that want to see me win, and good for them because we'll have a reason to celebrate that night. But there's not that much on the line here besides me beating the head coach of the NJRTC that's 38 years old and 25. I don't see a world where I lose. I'm just going to do what I do, get to my picks, get to my reattacks, apply pressure, move forward. Not going to be a Greco match. He's not hitting me with an inside trip, foot sweeping me, making me into an Instagram reel. It's not happening. I promise you that.
You're not going to be a highlight, Humphrey?
No, I'm not going to get highlighted. I'm not gonna get Instagram reel. None of that. But yeah, good for him. I'm glad he's confident. He's training. He's got the Princeton guys behind him. I don't even know who's going to be in my corner yet, to be honest with you. I might have my girlfriend hop in there and one of my buddies for a quick water break.
All right.
Jackson, I'll throw it over to you.
Sammy, how you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. How's it going?
Doing good, bro. You let the audience know we came into Rutgers together in the same class in 2019. I mean, they probably know a little less about the fact that we were both roommates for multiple years too.
Right.
You know, like Sammy and I have been through thick and thin together.
100%.
Coming into this, man, it's you versus Reese. The wrestling IQ in this match is absolutely through the roof. And knowing that, I know and I think that things are going to be a lot more methodical than Reese has said in previous minutes that somebody's going to get pinned in this match. I was a little taken back from that. I was like, someone's getting pinned? I mean, if someone's pinning somebody, it means it's probably going to be Reese doing some crazy stuff. I know how you wrestle. I've watched you wrestle almost all your college matches, right? You're not really putting a lot of people to their back. You're no, you're doing your picks, you're doing your reattacks, and you're marching forward like you said, right? And especially in your last year of your wrestling career, you did a lot more. You changed the game just a little bit, right? You were back on your old Sammy stuff, but you still had a little bit of a new game that you started to build, right? So I mean, you have this highlight Humphrey coming at you. What are you looking at on your feet right now? Just hoping that you're going to be able to get the first takedown, the next takedown, the one after that.
Yeah, for sure. First takedown is always big, right? First takedown, but more than that, just staying in good position, right? I'm just focused on just staying in good position and just keeping the action going, not looking for stalemates, staying in good position, transitioning to the next position, not looking for stalemates, like I said. But I think it's actually pretty funny that I'm wrestling Reese because, like I said, he's 38. He's been on a couple world teams, Ohio State, two-time All-American. He's he's a legend at the end of the day, like realistically. And I think it's just pretty cool that I get to wrestle a guy like that. The last time I wrestled a guy like that was probably like Vito Arujau. I remember on the Dake Chamizo card and I got smoked. And I was winning after the first period, completely gassed, and he just, kind of embarrassed me, to be honest with you. But I think it's just pretty cool to wrestle a guy like that at the end of the day. Obviously, I think I'm going to win, right, for a lot of reasons. And I know he's going to throw the kitchen sink at me. And he's probably, he probably thinks he's going to school me because that's what I would think if I was him, to be honest with you. But I think, he's going to be a little surprised with my wrestling IQ and how I just methodically move forward and just keep the action going. I'm not looking to bite off more than I can chew. But, when I can get a reattack, I'm gonna go for it. And, he's probably preparing for my pick. I'm still going to get to it at the end of the day. So I think it's going to be cool. Obviously, want to get to my first takedown. As always, keep the action going. I don't want it to be something boring either. I don't want people to watch it and be like, oh, I just watched paint dry for 9 minutes. I don't really care who won. But I think it's just going to be fun, dude. Just keep the mood light, keep the action going, try to keep wrestling at a high level. And, I'm getting into high school coaching on a real lower scale. And, I think it'll be pretty cool to show the kids that I still got it. Obviously I'll be rolling with them every day, but I think it's just pretty cool, at the end of the day. One day I'll have a son a few years from now probably, and I'll be like, hey, Dad whooped on Reese Humphrey a couple years ago. You should look it up.
I love that. Sammy, I'll leave you here with this, man. Just what one, can you share where you're going to be coaching this year? And two, when you were done at NCAA's this past March, you were just like, you know what, like that's it. Like I ended on a high note. You're an All-American, legit, if we want to call it legitimately, you actually wrestled to get onto the podium there.
Right.
So you end like that. You're like, all right, I'm done. And then the Iowa thing came out. Obviously, as you mentioned before, it didn't work out. And then it's like, all right, maybe the career's over, but now you have this opportunity. So, one, going back, like, do you know where you're coaching high school this year? And then two, is something like this a one-off for you, or it's like, you know what, I like to have fun, I want to keep wrestling, and I would love to, keep doing more showcase events like this?
Yeah, I think for me, like I said, things that just get me excited to wrestle. Like wrestling someone that I'm supposed to lose to gets me excited. It's pretty fun, right? If I'm wrestling someone that works at the 7-Eleven down the street, that they're like, oh, he's probably gonna attack him, then it's not really fun. But if I get a couple guys here and there that I'm supposed to lose to are pretty high level guys, I'll definitely scrap. Why not? It's 9 minutes. It's something we've been doing our whole lives. That's the thing about wrestling. Even right now, I'm on, I guess, vacation for the weekend, but I went for a run, having a few drinks, going to dinner, like keeping the mood light. But at the end of the day, wrestling is wrestling. I'm not going to learn a new move in the next week. Reese isn't. We know what we got. We're going to throw it out there and see what happens. But I can't say what school I'm going to coach at just yet, just because some paperwork stuff. But should be finalized in the next 2 weeks or so. School starts pretty soon. But yeah, I just I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it's going to be fun.
We're looking forward.
I hope everyone that thinks I'm going to lose looks over and go, shit, I was wrong.
I like that, and I'm looking forward to broadcasting your matches once again. I think now for the first time in, I believe now 3 years or something along those lines. So that'll be fun for myself personally, and I know the guys here are looking forward to seeing you out there against Reese. Any final words for Sammy before we let him go?
Excited to see you wrestle again, brother.
100%, brother. We're definitely gonna do it. It's funny. I will say this. It's funny that I'm wrestling Reese because I didn't know who Reese was until I was in college, right? So I wasn't like huge into wrestling. And when I found out who Reese was, he was still making world teams. Right? Obviously like the older ones, like the what is it called? Like what's the older like world championships?
The veteran world champion.
Yeah.
Like Masters and whatnot. Yeah.
He was on the PGA, this guy. So we're gonna have a good time. I'm looking forward to it. I think there'll be a lot of people out there. Obviously, it's in Jersey. Another reason why I wanted to do it. And I'm looking forward to meeting you guys and seeing what's what. But I do love his confidence. He thinks he's gonna pin me.
He says somebody's getting pinned.
Yeah,
that is what he said. I won't put words in anybody's mouth.
Yeah,
he says someone's getting pinned.
He did say someone's getting pinned.
All right. Yeah, my name's not Little Jimmy in a clinic. I'll be all right.
Sammy Alvarez with us here on the CWA Showcase show ahead of CWA Showcase 5. Sammy, looking forward to seeing you again, my man. Good luck over the course of the next weekend. We'll see you scrap next weekend.
Sounds good, boys. I'll see you guys.
Take care.
Sammy Alvarez with us here on the preview pod. Of course, get your tickets at CWAWrestle.com for next week. Of course, buy the stream as well if you can't make it in person. But, boys, it's going to be a very good card. Obviously, when you get into card number 5 at this point with more on the way, you work out the kinks, and now we have a more of the Jersey flair. And, Derek, I know I think we were lacking a lot of Jersey flair leading up to this one. So we're going to get fireworks and then maybe some not to play the stereotype, but some fist pumping after we're done.
That's what it's all about, right? Like the New Jersey mob. It's the perfect
fist pumping. That's what it is.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, that's what we want, right? We want you guys to be able to have your team, to be able to celebrate them the way that Jersey knows how to. Like that's the whole thing with these teams. Like we have the Central PA Whitetails, and all those guys chew snuff and shoot deer, so it just works out perfect, out in the woods. So that's really the point behind all of these teams is to be able to bring those wrestling communities together, to have a team to lift up, and you're getting to see it with these all-star teams that are getting put together from guys from yesteryear like a Reese Humphrey, but then also these younger guys like Quincy Monday all coming together to make a dual team.
We'd love to hear that. I think we can tease possibly some wardrobe. I know we were discussing it, jokingly, but I think we're actually going to do it. It seems like
Doing it. You're pulling the
we all,
trigger?
we all in on
Go.
old school
Yes.
yellow gold jackets from the Wide World of Sports days.
I'm down.
I think we're gonna really stand out. So this is gonna be a very flashy broadcast for sure. I think. I believe we had a comment from I believe Donnie's telling us we had a comment from Jordan Oliver on the Instagram. I don't have it in front of me, but I'll try to get that comment for us just to share with with everybody who's still watching here before we wrap up.
What's Jo saying?
That'd be nice. That'd be nice if he actually is maybe he wants to get on the card too.
That dude Joe, put me in, coach.
Yeah,
I could help with that as well.
I got one from okay, so I got it right here. Jo put it on Instagram, put a comment, and he said, quote, "Put me in, coach. Sammy, my guy. So no go with Sammy, but I love to do a showcase bout." So there we go. Ball's in our court now. So Jo back in the ringer. Of course, wrestling, MMA. He's a legend as well. So keep stacking legends, and I'm sure we're gonna have some legendary moments in Tom's River next week. So any final thoughts from you guys before we wrap up?
I mean, this is a star-studded bout. I mean, this whole card, top to bottom, is amazing. Looking at it on paper, you're looking like, oh, it's a pretty good card. But then you get everybody in front of you and talk to all of them in a row. You're really realizing what you have in front of you, which is an absolute masterful put-together bout of wrestling. It is 100%. Really is so cool. It is so cool as a wrestler, as a wrestling fan, just all the way across the board. I'm super excited for this.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I have to say the same. Just looking at the guys on it, I think we're gonna have really exciting matchups. I honestly hope that we do get some pins. I want to see, but I'm not thinking it's in that match with Reese and Sammy. Like Sammy's just unless he gets exhausted. Like that's the only way I see it. But that's the only way I see that happening. But Brucky and Scott should be a good one.
Yeah.
And obviously the rest of them are going to be a lot of fun as well. And we're in Jersey, and it should be nice and loud and fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And Tom's River, the main card set, of course, some other stuff to be announced as we lead up to Showcase 5. And, of course, Derek, as you already alluded to, more Showcase cards coming up for the rest of the year, including, I believe it's on the website now, Showcase 6. I believe that's out a little bit further west for the people that are watching.
Yeah, Detroit. Yep. So Detroit, we're gonna have our Showcase 6 out there, and we've got a couple matches already. I'll kind of spill them here for the folks that are watching. So Peyton Hall is going to be wrestling Chase Saldate out there at 170 pounds, and then also we're going to have Christian Lance is going to be going against Sam Schuyler at heavyweight too. So the 300-pound weight class is making its comeback into the CWA Showcase for Detroit. We got a few others that we're cooking. Some names you are very familiar with, but may not be expecting to see. So much like a Reese Humphrey type, not quite that old. No diss at you though, Reese. But we're working on it. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes, he is young at heart, and he'll be that way the rest of his days. I'm sure of it. But we got a lot of great matchups coming up in Detroit as well. So I guess that kind of alludes to, like Nick had said, if you can't make it to Tom's River, the streaming options are amazing that we have. The crew that we have together to put together high quality streams for everybody at home. You can get one for $15 if you just want to buy a one-off and watch a particular guy. But we also have a 5 for $50 package. So for all 5 showcases, you can get them for $10 a piece, all in one foul swoop, and you'll have them for all summer and fall too. So that's the deal. A lot of people have been cashing in on. Obviously, it's a pretty good deal. It's like 33% off the entire order. So a lot of people love that 5 for $50 deal and have been getting that bundle lately. The other thing that we're introducing, and a lot will come out in social media over the next week, but for CWA Showcase 5 next weekend in Tom's River, we're going to be opening up fantasy wrestling as well. So think DraftKings if you guys are football or whatever sport on DraftKings, where you can set your salary cap, guys. And just like Sammy kind of alluded to it, right? He's an underdog on paper. So, I mean, you'll have to check and see what his price tag is on Fantasy Wrestling. We're going to be rolling all that stuff out. So all the matches, the undercard matches, and also the main card matches will be a part of that. But that's the next big step in this is Fantasy Wrestling is coming to the CWA starting next weekend with CWA Showcase 5 in Toms River.
We're looking forward to it, boys. I'm looking forward to broadcasting with you, Mario. Obviously, getting to finally get on the mic with you, and of course, Jackson. Well, a new look for you now. Yeah, I'm used to talking to you after you throw somebody, but now I'm gonna see your reactions now after maybe there's a couple other throws that go on in this car, my man.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm super excited to be not just on the mic, but on the mic with the best in the business, Nick Costco.
I'll take that. That's the highlight of the show right there. Of course, Jackson giving me a compliment. Derek, we appreciate you too. We're looking forward to getting this all together, and we're certainly going to try to make this the best card from our end as well, and hopefully the wrestlers do the same for CWA Showcase 5.
Absolutely, I think they will. I think it's going to be fireworks. I think that there is the biggest opportunity for high flyers with the group of guys that we have set up. And I don't want to sleep on the undercard match that we have lined up already too. Matt Weinberg, he's a 3-time All-American for Kutztown, and he's a Northeast Philly native. He's only about an hour away from Toms River, so I think between Kutztown and those Philly guys, there's going to be a good Matt Weinberg contingency there, where he wrestles UPJ All-American Brock Biddle in that undercard match.
We'd love to hear it. So, again, CWA Showcase 5 is next week, 7 p.m. in Toms River on Saturday, August 16th. That'll be at the RWJ Barnabas Arena and on the campus of Toms River North High School. Of course, get your tickets at CWAWrestle.com. And as Derek alluded to, Stream 24/7 has the link and, of course, your pay-per-view options if you're going to buy the stream and watch it next week, or also bundle the rest of that and, of course, the rest of the showcases. So, boys, we'll see you next week. That'll do it for our preview podcast, and I can't wait. I want to fast forward 8 days already.
It'll come sooner than you think, buddy.
All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks to everybody who's tuning in, and again, we'll see you next week for CWA Showcase 5 in Toms River on August 16th.